Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bahashim Kakawadash, double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, to the Akwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, Salakia. 144,001 third, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the World War III daily update. Shalom and salutations to you all. We're going to start here at Joel 3 and 1. At the time of those events, which is now, okay, says the Lord, when I restore the prosperity of Judah and Jerusalem, the northern kingdom and the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians. Here's the point. This is God. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yahawashaphat. God's judgment, right? And where is that at? Right there in the Middle East. So God, the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, is gathering the armies of the world into the valley of Yahawashaphat. Now, right now, there are many fronts of World War III, right? Careening rapidly out of control, as you can see. But all roads lead where? To the promised land. All right, not to Rome. That's satanic. All right, what is holy? The promised land. Now, it's defiled right now, but check it out. We're going to cleanse that thing. All right, but here we see the Most High, God, saying He's going to gather what? The armies of the world into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. Why? He's going to tell you why I'm going to bring them, right? He's going to destroy them. I will gather the armies of the world. That's all of them. See? There I will judge them. Why is He going to judge them? It has something to do with this word right here, slavery. See that? My people, slavery. For there I will judge them for harming my people. Slavery. Who are His people? Slavery. Or anybody was slavery. These are God's people. Slavery. See that? You could try to run all you want to, but hey, the truth is going to come out. All right? You can gather all the armies, right? World War III. Why? Because He's judging them. First, you take down the military, your strength of the nation, and then it's easy to deal with the subjects, the kings, the queens. You don't have no military no more, right? There I will judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up who's in the land right now. You got two factions. You got Ishmaelites calling themselves Palestinians, and you got Edomites, Amalek specifically, calling himself an Israeli. And what are they doing? They're fighting over the land. Oh, well, let's give the Palestinians a state. What are they doing? They're dividing up the land. What else did they do? They threw dice to decide which of my people would be their slaves. The Negroes. The Negro, which of who? His people. The slaves are who? The Negro slaves are who? God's people. And this is why. What did you do to those Negroes? For years and years and years and years. All right? Yes, there's slavery. Slavery exists, but there are rules to slavery. One, who are the chattel slaves? Who is being hung and whipped and brutalized to this day? Well, it's not everybody. Who gets shot in the back with handcuffs on today? It's not everybody. All right? So cut the fucking bullshit and deal with what is coming. See, having your arms handcuffed and getting shot in the back, guess what? Slavery and all that, we went through that. We suffered our punishment all the way through. Guess whose turn it is now? This is what this is saying. watch, pay you back, right? It says they threw dice to decide which of my people would be their slaves. They traded boys to obtain prostitutes and sold girls for enough wine to get drunk. And now it goes into, right here, those people that did that, right? Who did that? Tyre, Sidon. These are actual Africans, what they call Africans today, because God's people, my people, are not Africans. They're Israelites. There's a difference between the Africans and the Israelites. God doth put a difference between the Ethiopian and Israel, paraphrasing, okay? The Africans gathered us up while we were in exile on the continent of Africa, gathered us up and did what? This is telling you what it did. They sold us to who? Right? What does it say? You sold. Right? Who did this? The African nations gathered up the Israelites that were living among them, right? The real Palestinians who are Africans, see, the people in the land over there right now claiming to be Philistia are not, okay? Those are Arabs. Those Arabs are Ishmaelites. They're not the sons of Ham. These are the sons of Ham. Ham, and Ham. All right? There are Arabs who are the sons of Ishmael, who are our enemies also in the land over there, dividing it up, right? For dividing my land. So here we have the Hamites, who are the Africans, right? And who is this? You have taken my silver and gold and all my precious treasure, which are these Negroes, his people are his precious. Even Adolf Schicklgruber knew that. He said, taking my precious treasures and have carried them off to your pagan temples. You have sold the people of Judah, the Negroes. Negroes, and here's the Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, to the Greek. Who are the Greeks? That's the Edomites. See, the so-called white people, right, that had us over here whipping our backs and hanging us by the neck. All right, this is what this war is about. World War III is about what? God is about to get his payback for his people. This is what this is telling you. There's a reason for World War III, and here it is. All right? God is gathering the armies. It's an ambush. He's getting them all in one place, and he's going to slaughter them all in 1 hour. All right? That's what's going on. Now, all right, there's the Arabs, right? They're in that thing. It's called, what is it? The transcontinental slave trade, or the whatever, right? The Arabs were involved in it. The Edomites were involved in it. The so-called white people, the Arabs. This is Ishmael. This is Edom, right? This is Ham. So the Africans, right? The white men and the Arabs are the subject of God's what? Revenge, right? He said, but, this is Joel 3:7, but I will bring them back from all the places to which you sold them, and I will pay you back for everything you have. You see that? This is the reason for World War III. The gathering of all the armies of the world into the Middle East. Why? Because he's going to judge them for what they did to his people. And then it names the Africans, right? The white man, the Arabs. See that? There's no secret. Transcontinental slave trade. So here we are. What's going on right now? The troops are gathering. They don't even know it. They think they're fighting these wars in different parts of the world. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. Come quickly, all you nations, and gather together in the valley. The valley of what? The valley of Jehoshaphat. Yahweh Shaphat. The Most High's name, Yahweh. Shaphat meaning judgment. Okay? Are they gathering? Let's see. Are they fighting? Let's see. What does this say? Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Let's see if we can see that today. Here we have Nate, 11 hours ago, Canadian prepper. Alert, they're advancing for the attack. B-1 bombers deploying, that's advancing. U.S. carrier headed, that's advancing. To war zone, they're being led into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Okay, they might make some stops along the way, right? Isn't Vladimir Putin going to send troops down to Syria pretty quick here? Of course he is. Babylon the Great is going to send troops to Syria. The Carmanians, the Persians, who you call today the Iranians, are going to send people to Syria. And the people that call themselves the Israelis, they're not going to send people to Syria. You're watching the prophecy jump off of the page. So let's let Nate tell the story. Putin warns of nuclear apocalypse. This would be the end right there, because that's exactly how it's going to end. It says so, for the Bible told me. So here we go. Take it away, Nate.
Anthony Blinken, war with Lebanon and Israel is imminent.
War with what? Lebanon and Israel is imminent. And what he's going to tell you is this. Israel is going to overkill, right? They're going to use a tactical. And after that, then Iran must come in. When Iran comes in, Babylon must come in. See how they're being drawn? The least of the flock is drawing out Babylon and everybody else. That's what this particular Lebanon and Israel war is going to do. It's going to bring everybody in.
Anthony Blinken, war with Lebanon and Israel is imminent. I repeat, war with Lebanon and Israel is imminent. It seems that Israel has every intention of invading Lebanon and attempting to push Hezbollah back to a river that is 40 kilometers into the southern part of that country. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the hell could this possibly have to do with us here in the West, especially out here in North America, where we are insulated by two very large bodies of water? And I would encourage you to look at anything in your home, and you'll discover quickly that it likely wasn't made in this country, and that is because we live in a global commodities exchange, meaning that if there is geopolitical turmoil in one part of the world, it is likely going to repercuss to other parts of the world and have a financial impact in the form of skyrocketing oil prices, which of course will skyrocket inflation even further. That is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that Israel is forced to resort to the Samson option, because facing the near peer adversary that many people believe Hezbollah to be, it's likely they're not going to be able to sustain that level of attrition, depending on how involved Iran gets. And of course, invariably, that brings the United States into the conflict. If the United States and Israel cannot resolve this problem using conventional weapons, there is a very good chance that Israel will have to resort to the use of tactical nuclear.
See? It's pretty fundamental. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay? I know you don't want to see it, but the reason we see it, because we have foresight. We open up the book with understanding. It's all in there. Okay? And people that don't believe that that is the script for the world, You're just a fucking idiot. All right? Turn your back. We don't care. Right? Like Carnegie, right? In a Book of Eli. I don't give a damn if you don't believe that's better for me. All right? He knew it was a weapon.
Weapons used quite possibly subterranean to target the rather extensive network of bunkers and tunnels that are far more sophisticated than the ones that they face and are currently still facing in the Gaza Strip. This, of course, will have the effect of bringing Iran, bringing Russia, and China into the conflict because, of course, China is dependent on Iranian oil to a large extent, as well as Russian. So, this is why the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Strike Carrier Group, according to a U.S. defense official, is being redeployed to the eastern Mediterranean. So, the middle of the road.
Have you heard of a brain song? Did you know it's already helped thousands?
Prognostication is that the U.S. gets involved in another major war, which ultimately spills over into Iran. The worst case scenario, of course, is that Israel is forced to utilize the Samson option because they have their missile defense systems overwhelmed. You start to see a massive egress out of the country, and their very small and fragile economy, which is unfortunately being compromised by the fact that you have a lot of reservists who were performing vital roles in their economy now being forced into militarization, taking them away from those occupations. This is going to have a devastating economic impact. And even Shaul Goldstein, the CEO of Noga Energy, the independent system operator for the Israeli energy grid, has stated today that after 72 hours without electricity in Israel, it will be impossible to live here. We are in a bad situation and we are not ready for a real war. It is no surprise then that there are rumors of panic buying yet again. Now, this began a long time ago because, of course, rumors of wars in the northern direction have been rumbling for quite some time now. In fact, many of us are surprised it hasn't started already, when of course, unofficially it has, because what's been happening between Hezbollah and Israel can only be called a war. It just hasn't went into any sort of big aero offensive maneuvers just yet, but it appears as though that is about to happen. Lebanon has even threatened Cyprus, the island of Cyprus. They claim that the Americans, yes, the Americans and the Israelis are flying sorties from there, and that that island will not be immune from attacks. In response to this, Cyprus has suspended issuances of visas from Lebanon, and the Canadian government is now reiterating that Canadians should refrain from traveling to Iran and that those who are currently there should return. Now, this, of course, 24 hours after deeming the IRGC to be a terrorist organization. So, we're seeing level 4 travel advisory. I don't think we use that system here, but it is very similar to what the State Department uses. Level 4 travel advisory for Iran from Canada and the United States. Lebanon, not quite yet a level 4 travel advisory, but this square is likely to change to red very, very soon. You have the Dwight D. Eisenhower heading there, likely going to be performing defensive duties. This, of course, is going to take even more attention away from the Red Sea, giving the Houthis free rein, who appear to be completely unstoppable at this point in time. I mean, you would think that we would have put a dent in their capabilities, but they are completely implacable, it seems.
Let the weak say, I am strong.
However, their setup is in the mountain ranges of Yemen. It seems to be very formidable, and it's very difficult to even put a dent. So I can't see how we're going to deal with the subterranean nightmare that likely awaits Israel in southern Lebanon. So things are about to get really, really crazy, and that is just one front. But remember, each one of these nodes in the network are connected. It's some.
There it is. They're connected. So as they're fighting, if the moment that, okay, what we see right now, right? We see Vladimir Putin doing the Allied tour. He goes to Vietnam. He goes to North Korea. He goes to China. Okay, so once you make that agreement, right? Right. So they're fighting over in Eastern Europe. They're fighting over in Russia and Ukraine. But then something jumps off in Taiwan. Guess what Russia got to do? They got to go over there. Okay. And as I said earlier, all of these countries are already fighting in Syria, been fighting in Syria, going back 10 years at the very least, 10 plus years, okay? Because they were on that hit list. Syria was on that hit list that America, we're going to start in Iraq, and then we're going to wind up, we're going to end in Iran. Well, Syria, they got bogged down in Syria, so they couldn't get to Iran. All right? But where is Iran? Where is Syria? It's in the Middle East, what they call the Middle. It's in Western Asia, what they call the Middle East, the Valley of Yehoshaphat, the Greater Valley. 2 more seconds.
Breaks in the Middle East. It is.
What'd you say in the where? That's where it's all going to culminate, in the Valley of Yehoshaphat.
So I can't see how we're going to deal with the subterranean nightmare that likely awaits Israel in southern Lebanon. So things are about to get really, really crazy, and that is just one front. But remember, each one of these nodes in the network are connected. If something breaks in the Middle East, it is going to create and exacerbate the problems everywhere else. Israel is currently also relocating 45,000 children away from the northern part of Israel due to concerns of war. Apparently, summer camp is a big deal in that country. So, North Korea, right now, of course, Vladimir Putin has now went to Vietnam, concluding his trip with Kim Jong-un, as you could see them in the vehicle there, gallivanting, signing a strategic military partnership, essentially the equivalent of a NATO Article 5. If one of the countries is attacked, the other agrees to come to its aid. Now,
they're all going to wind up. This is God. What you're watching is this. Joel 3 and 2 in the NLT. I, which is the Most High, will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Why? It goes into why. So they're being led in. There's an ambush right here. It's judgment. There I will judge them. I will put them on trial. What you going to do? I will gather the nation, bring them there. I will put them on trial for what they did to my people, Israel. There I will judge them. There I will enter into judgment with them on behalf of my people. What way do you want to serve it up? I will enter into judgment. I will enter into judgment, and I will plead. What do you do? What do you plead, sir? You're in a courtroom. You're on trial right now. All right? God is judging. God is the judge, and all the wickedness you've done, you're being led into an ambush. It's time for you to pay up. All right? That's what's going on. You're in the courtroom, boy. And guess what? You can't buy off the judge. This is real judgment, okay? Not that bullshit where Emmett Till, right? Everybody gets to go home, the nigger's dead. Nope. Remember that one? Well, that's part of that judgment. Anyway, with that, we hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and sisters. Shalom.